Hello, conscious collaborators. And if that's you, you'll know. You'll know what that means, I feel. I am so grateful to be here in Tucson, Arizona at Canyon Ranch for Deepak Chopra event. Just lights up my soul. As you can see in my eyes, when the soul lights up, we shine brighter. How's your soul doing? How are you in there? How are you in there? Out here, there's a lot going on. I mean, not here, but oops, wobbles. Out here, it is beautiful. It is so full of cactus energy and wonderful, gorgeous old trees, and it's so luxurious to be here. And so I wanted to take advantage of all this extra time I have in my day and how important it is as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a woman, as a human to remember the deep blessing of time and how valuable it becomes when you hit midlife. I mean, I never worried about a thing. I think like most of us don't really understand or even grasp that our body's getting older until midlife. That's probably why people have identity crises and stuff, because it's like, oh my God, I could be gone any day, but I could also be very easily done half of my life. And when I tune into women, particularly sensitive women that are conscious and aware and sensitive, I realize how important it is that we honor the woman, that we honor, because I've seen in my couple of years of business, like without judgment, without making it right or wrong, just awareness and observation, that so many women we've just basically shifted and where sex, money, and power was what governed that old archetypal male, and we've like shifted, right? And this was almost predicted. And then when we go back to sacred feminine, it's I've realized like my idea of ancient like sisterhood and how tainted that's become through the ultimate feminine wound, which is not personal but collective, I believe. And that we have the masculine wound, and we talk about all this, right? And so where am I going with this? That was not the intention I was going to take with this conversation, but for some reason that's coming in. So nurturing the inner self to go deep enough. I know why this is coming in. I'm at a wellness retreat with a lot of women, and the woman relationship for me personally has been a tough one. I've always got along much better with men. It's just always been an easier thing for me. So I've really had to work on allowing myself to trust, connect, feel supported by. But if the wound is still there, your reflection will still bring forth relationships that don't feel ideally great. And it's a good reflection to be like, oh, okay, why is that still there, right? Why is that still there? Oh my God, I love these little cups. My husband and I were gonna buy these. We had three retailers and we tried to find these for years, and then I had to surrender, and just good thing, because now we don't have dishes in our particular life. So welcome to Tea with Margot. Hang out with me 2 more minutes because this is going somewhere. What is the message? The woman, the connection, the consciousness, the weaving. That's what I'm being shown. So as we awaken, as we understand our truthful divine connection to ourselves and others. I just wrote an article for Brains Magazine that Ian is editing right now, and it was about authentic business. So I'm going to let you read that article, but it was also about consciousness, and I'm here to explore consciousness with Deepak. I cannot wait, and digital dharma. But what if we look at consciousness as the observer, we must always look at ourselves as the observer. And I spoke about that earlier as well, that, when we observe ourselves, that's how we evolve ourselves. And being observed also alters you. So how do we observe each other? And the way we see each other has a potential to project upon us. I'm also in a course right now about the 5-line and projections, which has been so interesting, because if you go to my Margot Beresca Facebook page, you'll see a free little chat that I did there, a little riff on the awakening, and a membership thingy that I popped out for anybody who wants to see it. So I talk about the awakening. Welcome to my ADHD brain. I will talk about 5 topics in 5 minutes and scat back and forth, but you'll get insights if you're that kind of person to stay with me long enough. And then when you come into my containers, we go much deeper, right? So I'm gonna go because I need to get my clothes back on and go meet Deepak Chopra and bounce in vibrational cosmoses, but I'm guided to wrap that up about our weaving and our feminine connection and the masculine. We need our masculine, we need our feminine, and when we go beyond duality, we are oneness, and obviously we are all of it, which is why I think this whole gender thing is changing on our planet, is because beyond here, there's androgynous beings, right? And there's a big, huge thing going on with gender into oneness, and we need both. But when it comes to feminine relationships in our membership, we're examining those, right, a little bit, and how we allow ourselves to connect and receive, which is so much the feminine energy. And one of my biggest lessons about receiving was years ago when I was married to a wonderful Mexican man, almost married to a wonderful Mexican man. And he was so wonderful to me. After I met him in Egypt, I was working in Cancun, and he asked me to come meet him in Egypt after he'd been there for a couple months. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? And I was, without a job. And he said, nothing. And I remember being like, are you kidding me? I cannot do nothing. That was such a foreign thing to me. I was a very hard worker. I say was, because now I'm not about hard work. I'm about, lifestyle and passion and pleasure and play and entrepreneurialism, which has its pros and cons. Anyways, so what was asked of me was for me to fully be in receptive feminine mode. And it wasn't asked of me, it was willingly done. But for a period of months, I was not working. And I can tell you that was like one of the best times of my life, because everything that I needed was cared for. And so there was no survival, there was no push, there was no hustle. It was the first time in my life, after being the person who usually had 3 jobs and never stopped working, to read books and to smoke a shisha pipe, which I loved, and to dive and to cook and to, our intimacy was so much better. Our relationship was so much better because there wasn't this pressure as a woman to do all the things. So it was a really good thing for me. And now you see a lot of masculine, and I don't want to judge this or make it come across like masculine driven women that are taking on that sort of old school masculine of power, sex, money. Not that it's bad at all, of course not. And I often attract these women in my world. And when I look into the field, sometimes there's such a zigzag of vibrational discord. And the reason I feel is because it's the part of them that is programmed to believe and know what success is. And of course the desire is there, but it's like over functioning, right? Over functioning. So when I have women, like high ticket women, had a couple come to some of my retreats, they have no clue. And I'm not generalizing, but no clue how to relax. So I know my teaching has been to help women embody that feminine and know like how to let go of control and let go of that, like, I was reading Brené Brown's book, and I did an oracle flip. This is how I read now, is I just go, what page do I need to read? And then I go to the page, and then I go back as far as I have to, or I just capture the page. And then sometimes I actually read a whole book. And it was about her getting a concussion. She got like this huge concussion. And she talked very quickly in that book about how that knocked her out and how that came up for her as something so difficult. And this is my point. This is my point exactly, is like, to what level do we need to have a concussion to slow down and let go of control? And I'm guilty for this too, like having a surgery 2 years ago that knocked me out, and it was bad, and it all went downhill, and it ended up being a very long healing process as I was like just dripping out of my own body, but more on that. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. This is an 8-minute thing. I don't have anybody to edit my videos currently, so I'm just going to post this on Beyond Senses into Infinity. So go to Margot Beyond Senses into Infinity if you want to watch the full video. It's a page just for creative whatever. It's not really got a ton of followers or engagement. You're welcome to engage. That would be really nice. But I don't spend a lot of time anymore trying to get a lot of followers. I just talk and post wherever I already have platforms. So with that said, you're welcome to follow me there. In the meantime, as I kind of envision my purpose and rebuild my presence online, which is an always evolution as an entrepreneur. But for those of you who don't know me, if you have stayed on for this long, I am Margot. I'm a spiritual, intuitive, conscious collaborator, always looking for collabs and wonderful projects. I'm writing a book currently. I'm a full-time mom of twins. Well, not full-time. They're actually in daycare now, but anyways, blah, 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 blah. And welcome to my world. I hope that you join me for a retreat one day. They are incredible. We always have private chefs. yoga, incredible tours. I offer most of them in Mexico because that's where I live. We go to the sacred waterfalls. We have a traditional Temazcal ceremony, and you hang out with me for a good portion of the week. So hanging out with an oracle is pretty cool. We work on all kinds of stuff, from trauma to business to communication to empowerment to leadership, and mostly how to be in your feminine and relax and receive. I love you. Bye.